Welcome to Z Pandem with Divishri Bagrodia. I'm extremely honored to have Dr. Rajiv Kumar here today. He is a leading Indian economist and the Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog, the think tank of the Government of India. He has authored several books on India's economy and national security and is a leading economic columnist and speaker. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Good to be here, Devasri.
Sir,
well done with this information.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So as we all know, the world is in a time of unprecedented uncertainty, and what began as a health crisis has become an economic and humanitarian crisis. So how do you think things will play out in the next few years?
Devasri, let me congratulate you again on starting this initiative. I think it's very important for young people like you and your peer group to get a proper perspective on what's going on, and I hope your initiative will help them to get this perspective. The important thing is to learn to live with the pandemic. You know, the notion that this is the short-term thing, the notion that there is a pre-corona period and a post-corona period, I think is not the right way to look at it. What we have to do is to bring about behavioral change within us and within our society and within our groups where we are living right away, so as to live with the virus, so as to make, so as to take enough precautions, to take enough hygienic measures, to improve our immunity, both physical and mental and emotional, to be able to deal with it, to have more empathy with each other, to not treat this as any kind of a stigma. All of these behavioral changes are required now.
Absolutely, sir. So what do you see as the future growth drivers of the Indian economy, and what are some of the key opportunities awaiting us?
See, the Indian economy is in the midst of its transition, because we are still a low middle income country. We are, per capita income is around $2,800, $2,500.
Yes,
and we have to at least double this, per capita income, so we are yet in the, right in the midst of the transition. So this transition will continue, meaning thereby that the Indian economy will go back to growing at 6, 7, 8, 9%, once this financial year is over. So, in Niti Aayog, we have been, sort of looking at all of this, and we feel that starting April 2021, the Indian economy, in fact, next year, 21-22, the economy will probably grow at 10%, because it's a low base and, a lot of activities go on. But for the foreseeable future, for your generation, this economy will continue to expand and grow and offer lots and lots and lots of job opportunities as we go forward. And our own estimate is that by 2047, when we celebrate 100 years of our independence, and when you folks will be about 40, in your early 40s, pretty much at the prime of your life, the Indian economy will become the third or the second largest in the world, and and that's where we are headed for. So you should all be looking at that point. You should all be looking at, therefore, the longer term, and which the longer term, the future is very bright for us. Now, which will be the main drivers of this, economy? Of course, in structural sense, the biggest driver will be our human resources. So that's our major strength. And we have proven to the world that we have got the best human resources, which need to be skilled, which need to be trained, and which need to be make adaptable to the changing technology. The second biggest driver that's the demographics, and the second biggest driver will be our plentiful natural resources. We've got lots of mineral resources, we've got lots of geographical resources. We can be a very rich agriculture economy country. So that could be our second biggest driver. And third, of course, will be technology. because after all, that's changing very rapidly. So these are the three major changes, at the macro level. But I want to re-emphasize again that Indian economy's future is extremely bright. And this year will just be seen as a little blip when you people grow up, and look back at it. You will see this as, oh, one just blip, and after which the economy started rising again.
Right, so as you just mentioned, the changes that our economy would face. So, do you see any difference in the consumption pattern?
There is bound to be some differences in the consumption pattern, but not. And I think what will happen is that we will all. I think COVID has, taken us in that direction. We'll all become more ecologically conscious.
Right.
We'll all become more ecologically conscious because we know that better the environment, the less the chance of the virus growing, and we'll also become more conscious about our how do you say, holistic health. In the sense that health is not just physical.
Right.
Health is physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual.
Absolutely.
And I think more and more young people, I am hoping and I think, will come to that direction of finding the spiritual path for getting some inner peace, not finding all their that satisfaction in the external world. We will probably move away from making material ownership as the only criteria, for our success. We'll think about us, whether we are genuinely happy within ourselves or not, whether we can help others more or not, our empathy. I think so. Those will be the behavioral changes that we will get. I've seen a lot of young people now gravitating towards meditation, which I teach, so and therefore people will, because that will give us a better way to cope with what we face than to buy another car or to buy, some other, material things, because that's also ecologically not so, it's not such a good thing. So I think, yes, there will be changes in consumption patterns, and what were the status goods for me in my generation will certainly not remain the status good for Gen X, Gen Z. Because I think you guys will change different. You guys will move very different. For example, my own son, which is not Gen Z but Gen X, is already not driving a car. He says, "I don't want a car." He's not even learned how to drive. And so I think that's the way people will move. In more ecologically friendly direction, in more inner, happiness, inner satisfaction direction, more creativity, more in communion with nature, living with nature again. So I've seen people returning from Silicon Valley to India and putting up software companies in remote villages. So that's where they can, they can still contribute to the society, but stay in communion with the nature. All of those changes will happen, but these changes themselves will throw up much bigger opportunities for employment and jobs and careers and and growth.
Absolutely. So you're absolutely right. So what are some of the key skills, attitudes, and mindsets that are important for Gen Z moving forward?
The most important Divasri attribute that I say, and I will only talk about that, is to train yourself to be mentally agile and emotionally balanced. Because those are the two qualities: agility of your mind and the way you learn things, so that move away from rote. No, that's not the learning. Learn to be curious, learn to be agile, learn to train your mind that it can move in many different directions, connect the dots and so on, and because that, and then as I said, emotionally stable, or and find that inner balance. I tell you
Right, sir.
why. Because you are going to grow up in a period of great technological turbulence, and also great social change. All sorts of things will happen around you. So unless you have trained yourself to be, with that agility, and the agility which comes from looking at a lot of data, and connecting it in different ways, rather than just in one narrow linear way, and doing it with a sense of inner peace. That look, whatever might be happening outside, inside me, I may be in the midst of a storm, but inside me, I'm calm. I'm, and peaceful, and I'm empathetic to other people, so that I'm sensitive to their needs and not just, focused on myself. So I think those are the attributes, which I think Gen Z needs much more than saying that, oh, you should learn about nuclear technology, or become a doctor, or all of that. All that will come, but if you have that curiosity of the mind and the mental agility and the willingness to learn and remain sensitive, you will pass through all of that.
Certainly, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable insights and your advice. So, and I'm sure we have a lot to take back from this. Thank you so
I
much.
hope so. Thank you very much. And once more, congratulations. I hope you can help a lot of your peers. The Z Pandem is a great initiative, and I hope others will join. And I hope you will succeed in what you are setting out to do with this initiative.
Okay,
All the
sir.
best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining us.